Let's go to the second one. A charade of words and complaints rather than reasoned arguments. For example, in his book, The God Delusion, one of the international best-selling books, by the way, Richard Dawkins writes a scathing rendition of God as he sees him. And here's what Dawkins writes about God, Richard Dawkins. The God of the Old Testament is arguably the most unpleasant character in all of fiction. Jealous, proud of it, petty, unjust, unforgiving, control freak, vindictive, bloodthirsty, ethnic cleanser, misogynist, homophobe, racist, infanticide, genocide, faticide, pesticide, megalomaniac, sadomasochistic, capricious, malevolent bully. That's what Dawkins says about God. Bill Maher and other atheists do the same thing. Is this an argument against God or atheism? It's not an argument. These are insults. I can easily write that Dawkins is ugly and his mother dresses him funny. How does that disprove what he's saying? I can easily write that all atheists are unloving, lonely, godless, hedonistic, selfish, self-haters, xenophobes, elitists, megalomaniac, arrogant fools who think that they know more than the majority of the people in the world. Okay, I could say that, but that doesn't disprove the atheist position. It just insults it. This is not the way to reason with respect, and I hope to respect the atheist whether he respects me or not. 3. Religion is the cause and problem of most wars and bloodshed in the world. Thus, God must not exist. Anybody who's been around, or do you remember where you were on 9/11? After 9/11, the books on atheism really shot through the roof. They've been selling very well. There's a reason for that. Gwyneth Paltrow, great actress, but here's what she says. Religion is the cause of all the problems in the world. I don't believe in organized religion at all. It's what separates people. Religion just presents fragments. It causes war. More people have died because of religious conflict than any other. Okay, Ms. Petro? Is that her name right? Let's take a look at the evidence. Religion is the cause of most wars in the world. This is a weak argument because the evidence shows otherwise. Atheism, which is connected with one of the most oppressive regimes in the history of the world, Marxism-Leninism, is the official philosophy of the state of the Soviet Union, Romania, Poland, China, and others. Roughly between 1917 and 1989 has been responsible for the death of over 50 million people. More than all the religions who have killed anybody in the entire history of the world. Atheism, not religion. Now hold on a minute. Is this a good argument? I don't think so. Because you can't blame atheism generally for some wacko atheists who do things. Then why blame religion for some terrorists who do things as well? It's not a fair argument because you can apply it back. So let's dismiss this one too. Let's go to the next one. I can't see God. I don't have proof of God. Therefore, God does not exist. If God appeared to me, then I would believe. Have you heard that one? If God appeared to me, then I would believe. Okay, let's deal with this. The late Norman Russell Hansen of Yale University, I say late because now he knows the truth. In his essay, what he wrote is What I Don't Believe. He said the following. Suppose next Tuesday morning, just after breakfast, all of us in the world are knocked to our knees by a percussive and ear-shattering thunderclap. Snow swirls, leaves drop from the trees, the earth heaves and buckles, buildings topple, towers tumble, the sky is ablaze with an eerie silvery light. Just then, all the people in the world look up and the heavens open. The clouds pull apart, revealing us an unbelievable Zeus-like massive figure who's mountainous in his perceptions. He frowns darkly at the lightning crosses across his Michelangelo-like face. He then points down and looks at me and says, believe me, I exist. He says, then I'll believe. Then I'll believe. Well, the fact of the matter is, most of these people like Hansen presuppose that all God of the traditional theistic perspective wants is for people to believe. They're wrong. That is a false presupposition. If you were to open your ancient scriptures and read, God does not want people to believe in him like he wants people to believe in Paris or New York. Paul Moser, in the book that I have put together, Debating Christian Theism, says the following. God does not seek human faith. belief, or knowledge regarding God apart from divinely intended transformative human reception of divine love. In other words, God does not want to offer signs to prompt human faith based on just intellectual reflections of any other factor, apart from the transformative human reception of divine love. Accordingly, contrary to the attitudes of many philosophers, divine signs are not offered as a stuff of a spectator sport. God does not play spectator sports for atheists, just so they want to believe. Wanting to believe something is not enough. It's believing in, not just believing that. That is the issue. Furthermore, I doubt that he would believe it even if it happened. For some people, they'll make up a reason like some kind of superficial government trick who kind of did some kind of projection in the sky, and they'll try to make sense of it later on. So if you don't want to believe, no matter the evidence, it won't come there. Although there are some people who are honestly seeking. And for those, I don't want to make a generalization and say that they're asking for something because they really want to see something, not because they just want to see that there's a God. So be careful. Well, let's be careful about generalizing on that. And this is also, this objection number 4 is a confusion again of epistemology and ontology. Epistemology and ontology. Epistemology is the knowledge of, and ontology is the truth about the world, or what is the ontos. What I mean by that is you do not necessarily see or grasp God. That does not mean God doesn't exist. Merely because I can't understand or find God doesn't mean there is no God. It's a fallacy here? Yes, it's a fallacy. You're a genius. It's a logical fallacy, an appeal to ignorance. Because I don't see God, therefore God doesn't exist. That doesn't work. So these are 4 bad arguments, 4 weak arguments. Let's take a look at some strong ones. Philosophical disproofs of God, and those are broken down into 2 categories. 1, who made God, or the cause of the cause. And 2, the paradox of omnipotence, which I'll get into. B. And then I'll get into 2, which is a problem of evil, which I'll barely touch on in the interest of time. And 3, some disproofs of God from science, and particularly in cosmology. Let's break these down. Who made God? Who made God? Causality leads to infinite regress. Some atheists like Bertrand Russell and Richard Dawkins say, if everything needs a cause, then so does God. The world's completely complex. God must be even more complex, must we need a more complex thing to make him. So if God does not need a cause, if you say God doesn't need a cause, then why does the world need a cause? If the world needs no cause, then there's no God. If we push the principle of causality all the way and insist that everything needs a cause, then we lead you to an infinite regress and never reach God. Therefore, God doesn't exist. That's the first one. Let's go to the second one, the paradox of omnipotence. Some atheists contend that an omnipotent God is a contradiction in terms. If there were an all-powerful God, then he can do absolutely anything, including make a stone so heavy that he can't lift it. Or create a monster that he can't control, like the Krakon in the Clash of the Titan myth. Or make a rabbit so fast he can't catch it. But if God could make something that he could not control, then he's not all-powerful, since that would be something that he would not be able to overpower or control. Therefore, there cannot be an omnipotent God. The problem of evil. This is the most difficult one for believers in God to deal with. I've known many people who've doubted God because of this.